Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about what the stars didn't show us. I'm sorry if you can hear the barking rat 2 houses down. I don't actually know what that's supposed to be. I've been told it's a dog. I'm not sure I quite believe that. What the stars didn't show us is a young adult contemporary romance following the meeting and love story of Hailey and Hyun-suk. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I did look it up, I swear. And the issues that constantly pop up every step of the way. Rating and review. I gave this book 2 out of 5 stars. Having previously read another book by this author, Tears in the Water, I expected better. Instead, I found this difficult, painful to read, and was incredibly relieved when it was over. Based on the blurb and grouping of this book, I was expecting the plot to follow them as they become closer, but it wasn't like that at all. In fact, they got together quite early in the book after just a few interactions. After this, most of the book is filled with minor incidents that result in all of the characters overreacting for a few pages, which are then suddenly resolved, usually because someone stopped long enough to actually listen or think. It failed to follow any semblance of a plot, instead jumping between different events that rarely got enough of a chance to fully form before moving on. Hailey is described as enthusiastic, happy, and friendly. There are multiple instances throughout the book where she gets upset because she's worried she did something wrong or pushed someone, and the other person ends up apologizing and reassuring her. But the thing is, she did do something wrong. They're apologizing to her despite her being in the wrong. She's pushy, demanding, and spends a lot of her page time harassing people and forcing her way into their problems. Several times she is told to mind her own business, and then when she ignores that, they end up apologizing to her despite her obscene lack of boundaries and respect. Hyun-suk, on the other hand, is made out to be a loner because he wants to keep people safe from his brother, except that his brother isn't the only problem. He also has a habit of lashing out at people. Sure, he's been raised in a hostile environment and he's not as awful as his brother, but he's still not a great person. This is something he has admitted to himself, only to be brushed off and reassured that he's not the problem. Fun fact, both can be true. Hyun-woo is an awful person, but Hyun-suk isn't perfect. There's a large chunk of the book that relies heavily on telling us how a character is feeling. Emotions are rarely shown or described, and instead are often written as, "She looked up confusedly, embarrassedly, understandingly, worriedly." This really takes away from the effect the book has on the reader and doesn't allow much of a connection. We're not getting anything from it, it's just words on a page. Finally, we have the point of view inconsistencies. A regular feature of this book is the sudden switch from following one character to another, not just between chapters, but often in the middle of a page, completely without warning. This would be fine if there was a break between paragraphs or some kind of indication, but there isn't. Instead, we're repeatedly being assaulted with this jarring format that, again, takes away from the book and lowers the impact of what we're reading and processing, because instead of simply following the plot, we have to keep readjusting and trying to figure out who we're following. Content warnings. Harassment, emotional abuse, parental neglect, and sexual harassment, which is non-consensual/forced kissing. Who I'd recommend this to? If you're into a soft romance with recurring obstacles, simple writing, a few queer side characters, an all-around happy ending, and a book that feels like it could almost break up into short stories, this might suit you. That's it. I'm done. I'm done.